Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, August 10th. Well, my jigsaw is all screwed up. I don't know what happened to half my DOMs, but I'm going to have to fix our workspace. In the meantime, let's come over and see what they did overnight. Dum-ba-dum. Oh, you know what happened? They moved over here. I know what happened. It's over here. Oh, that's so annoying. Not Jigsaw's problem. My problem. There we go. Okay, so on Friday, okay day in general. A little bit of bearishness in the morning. Came back up, closed at highs. These are all-time highs. Overnight session, we extended those highs and have pulled back. We're about where we were. Treasuries took a pretty good dive there on Friday. We're recovering a little bit. And you can see that we steepened, but we're flattening again. Got to keep an eye on that spread. Oil about where it was. Gold had was on a tear, but the news on Friday, the jobs numbers just really killed gold. And again, the concern over here in gold is going to be deflation. So it's deflation, but then there's other things countering that. Like, a lot of people want out of China, for instance, out of the Chinese yuan, because they're devaluing their currency. I'm going to come over here onto the currencies. The dollar index, as you can see, strengthening a little bit. Strengthened from the jobs numbers. Strengthening a little bit overnight. Euro down. And that's basically where we are. Okay, so let's see if I can fix now. It's going to show me. Oh, come on. Okay, so there's my ZN. It's all jacked up. It's all jacked up. The three missing ones are there. They're just not there. Well, I'm going to have to close those windows or something. I may have to restart my workspace. Oh, well, that's not what it was. Why was it giving me that? Okay, so next thought is lose our main workspace. Okay, that works. Cool. I have to okay, so let's get into your comments. Oh, hi, Win. How are you? Blame it on Yoda. I'm wondering. I think what happened was that I'll disconnect this monitor, and that will screw things up. Anyways, now also interesting though that the economics releases thing is showing me now. That's probably okay. So let's fix this. Appearance, and I think that we were at 13 over here. No, 11, 10, 9, 9. am missing something over here. What were we showing over here that was taking up the more room? I don't know. Okay, so we'll pull up the... This one is the ZB. There it is. B. And F. Okay. Oh, that's really weird. Did I not have the ES really small like this before? So it was way wider, right? Huh. Why is the clear trades timer interval on that so high? Oh, that's right. No, that's what I want. Never mind. By this, so surely this wasn't like that. Like, I've literally got enough room there I could add something. What do you guys think? It's kind of weird, huh? Well, I need to think about that for a little bit because... super weird. I can't remember. Okay, let's see here. VB. ZN. ZF. Dum-ba-dum. Cool. ZB. Oh, let's fix this up too. Yeah, cool. ZF. Okay. So now that I got that, I mean, it could stick like the 2-year up there. Oh, you know what? I did all of that, and now I'm realizing that I'm just going to rebuild my whole workspace. Wait, what is this one? Is this clean one got anything on it? No. I'll save it as my main. No, I'll save it as main 3. So if I change to main, okay. So that workspace is completely jacked up. See that? Completely jacked up. Oy. The thing that's frustrating about it, it's totally my fault. It's 100% my fault. Yeah. Wait, why is that there?
Leandro Matias says good morning.
Good morning, Leandro. The issue is that I think that with this workspace, I've got these DOMs on the other one that are like weird. So, or I think we're gonna have to rebuild everything. We're gonna create a new workspace.
Winston's mom says good morning, Leandro Matias.
Okay. Well, we shall start with from left to right, I guess. Okay. I do want the alert column actually, but I don't want like the current traits and stuff. Oh no, wait. Ah. There we go. Cool. This is super interesting watching me rebuild my workspace, isn't it? I don't know how I got it quite that jacked up, but don't need the snapshot columns. This one, don't need the order column. Technically don't need the alert column either, to be honest with you. Okay. Cool. Oi. Hold on a second. That should not be. Wait, what is wrong with me here? Oh, I know what's called. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's weird. This is going to take a while, guys. Whatever. Okay, that's a little better on there. Save as. I'll save this as the big one. Okay. Oh, I think we're missing some stuff here. So I don't want that the account names to show up. There we go. Okay. One more for the ZB. Where are you? There you are. Oops.
Winston's mom says I am watching Kaylee MC Enemy and I probably spelled that wrong. Talk on Fox about the executive orders that were signed this weekend. I don't think this
Oh,
bodes well for anything happening anytime soon.
She on right now? Well, that whole thing is kind of interesting, isn't it? I mean, he shoved through the executive order. I would have thought that it would kind of, I don't know, move the needle, I guess you could say, on negotiations. But no. Nope. Not at all. So that's kind of a little interesting, isn't it? So now it's like, okay, how did I get it so small before? Well, probably these alert columns were smaller. Sure. This one is wrong. This one should be the MES. Okay. Anyways, from what I read this morning, um, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi were like, well, this just shows now that both sides need to compromise more and yada, yada, yada. Like, come on. What have they given up? If I was the Republicans, I would just be sitting here saying no. It would be like, nothing bad has happened yet. The economy hasn't fallen apart yet. Donald Trump did stuff with executive order anyways. Like, what reason is there for to do anything for them, you know? Now we're getting this nonsense again, aren't we? Okay. That's a bit more like it. I used to have it a little bit more balanced so that this was the edge of my head or something. I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? And then over here, we should also show the Vista chart. Yes. Yes. Detach. Make the interval much, much bigger. Actually, let's just do 60 here. Fail. There we go. Bearish. I want to be like an orange. Oi. Bullish. Oops. Web. I want it to be like what? Cornflower blue. Yeah, cornflower blue midline color. We'll make it wet smoke. Good. Okay. So that's the main workspace. Now we get to do all the little piggies. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that text is so small by default. Okay. It's kind of weird that the ZB one has all of the colors on it. You see there? Why is that one all colored? Because it's hitting... No? I don't know why it is. Anyways, we'll fix that. Big orders. Okay, better. Oh, wait. I don't need the size filter 0. Oh, gosh. Well, whatever. Oops. Wrong button. Oops, why do I keep clicking that? gosh, I hate that. It's snapping it over there for some reason. Okay. Wait, is it snapping it on that? Oh, maybe it is. That's funny if that's what it's doing. Okay, hold on a second. Biggie, biggie. Getting some movement here in the treasury. It'll tick up there. For sure. Okay. That's a bit more like it. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Hope you're enjoying all of my noise here as I fix my workspace. Oh, I hate it, but you know what? Could be worse. All right.
Vlad Stolyarov says code back to $8.
Oh, Kodak backdate. Yeah. Man, the whole ride in Kodak is pretty funny, isn't it? It's that whole move, like just that, well, just the way that the initial move happened.
Vlad Stolyarov says fun and games.
Yeah, just the way that that first one happened. Like you knew a lot of retail traders were going to get screwed, and they did. But then that it completely came back is like, oh my gosh. Anybody that was stupid enough to go short on that one sure made out well, though, didn't they? Okay, so for these ones, I want it to always display zeros. And we're going to need like time. So now my workspace looks okay. It's definitely not what it was, though. Okay, so now we can probably try doing some... So we're never going to get bigger than that, right? Because with the way that we had it, we could get away with another DOM, which would be kind of nice. I can definitely consolidate this one. There we go. Getting closer. Need to show some bigger prints and then I'll adjust them a little bit more. Well, what do you think would be the most fun to have up there? Right now, it's probably gold.
Vlad Stolyarov says NQ was fun Friday.
Oh, actually NQ might be a good thought too. Let's just get it all nice and tight first. So there it is. So we can certainly make these columns a little tighter, right? Come on, show me 100 on the bottom. Lame. That's so lame. Okay. Even this doesn't have to be like... Okay. Oh, you know what? This one is not showing me. Huh. Bid depth. Why doesn't my ES and MES ones not show that? Hmm. Oh yes, we need momentum, Tails. I didn't have damn momentum, Tails. But where is the thing that shows you the sum of them together? Snapshot style. Oh, that's interesting. It's not that. Highlight large asks. Alert order overview depth histogram. No, that's not it. Oh, this one, we need that. Was that on there? Include closed P&L. I guess Minution is speaking right now about the stimulus and saying that the whole giving $1 trillion to states just simply isn't going to happen. He's on CNBC. Dim 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 dim. Okay. So we made that whole area a lot bigger. Almost there. How's that? Something like that. Eh? Here's our economic releases. Okay, now these I need to modify a little bit, I think. For at least significant digits. Let's try that. Well, let's not display it for that long. Let's only display it for like 10 seconds. Ah. Dar. Save that as the default. And just make these all be default. Okay. That's a lot better. There. How does that? Well, you can't even see what I just changed there. But I'm still trying to figure out where we had all of this extra room that came from, but I guess President Trump is speaking now too. Market doesn't seem to be reacting to all of this too much, but there. Now, you were saying NQ was fun. I do believe that having it up there might be useful because NQ is important these days, right? It must be because I have this setting set for like the bid depth and ask depth that like I can have like more levels. Yeah, I guess not. I see. If you show the history, then it doesn't let you have that. Well, that's what I want, so. Wow. Oh, NASDAQ. You're a wild one. So now Schumer and Pelosi want to meet up and make a deal. Amazing how it all works, isn't it? When they've been for, where have they been for the last 4 weeks when they were hardliners and only wanted bailout money for Democrat-run states and cities that are failing badly? They know my phone number. And then Jake Sherman commenting, they said all along they wanted to negotiate with the White House. They didn't want what Mnuchin and Meadows were representing the president wanted. Well, yeah, because they wanted money for Democrat cities that are cash strapped because, oh my, and can't pay their pensions and so forth. Okay, so 10-year ticks up through there. I only wasted a lot of time there tinkering around with my workspace, didn't I? That's okay. I don't think that I wanted to make a move in the E-mini. What's with the inventory? Oh, right, because I only show the last like day's worth or something. The Fed has announced new capital requirements for large banks after 2020 stress test results effective October 1st. Well, that is important news. I don't see any change to the market, though. Oh, no change to the market. And I'm hearing a lot coming through on the squawk, by the way.
Nathan S. says buy everything.
Buy everything. That's what they want you to do. I can only assume that Nathan has already done that, huh?
Nathan S. says it's true.
It's true. He's long. He needs an exit, guys. Well, then treasuries just keep ticking up.
Nathan S. says no exit balls of steel till Friday.
Well, when I look over at this, I see that the 5-year is going to try and put up a little bit of a stink, but I don't really, on the other two, I don't really see much of a reason for it to stop. And I don't know, it's kind of interesting here. Hmm. Okay, well, the 10-year didn't hold that last tick, but nobody's going into '03 half. If we can get a fair deal on COVID-19 with Democrats, we'll do it this week, says Treasury Secretary Mnuchin. I don't know. What he's saying doesn't sound super promising to me. Could be wrong, but
Vlad Stolyarov says market needs to go on rehab from Fed.
I don't know. I am still of the opinion that um the the psychological effect on the market is more than the actual monetary effect. If it was actually having if the asset impact of it was really doing what many of us think, I think that the Fed would see it and would change course. But I think that perhaps the reason why the Fed kind of ignores it is because they think that the market is just kind of doing its own thing and that it's not really justified by their actions. That's true. That's a little scary, but like he was what was it? Powell was saying we don't target a specific price on the S&P 500 or anything like that. And it's like, yeah, but obviously it's affecting the price, right? Do they not calculate what it could do to the? I mean, you would think that they would at least be trying to estimate what the impact would be and say, oh, maybe we shouldn't do that. That's a lot.
Vlad Stolyarov says increase in monetary base but no money velocity, something going to go wrong.
I don't know. I don't know if increasing the monetary base but not having the money velocity necessarily does anything special. But I think that it is indicative of serious problems in the economy. And I mean, what we got going on here is a little scary because there's still some there's still going to be like knockdown effects later on, like just think about all these people that are like gonna possibly get evicted or all that sort of thing. Cool.
Vlad Stolyarov says Trump executive order was trying to fix eviction concerns.
Part of it was, I think that he did it, I mean, so there's a question about how effective his orders actually will be. I think that for the evictions in particular, that it's probably fine, right? Um, they were saying, especially for the unemployment, there was a lot of question about how they're even gonna do that one. Jake Sherman says Dems were at roughly 900 B. Republicans were at 200. Dems floated 500 billion. I don't think they should give any money to Democrat states. I think that if you did that you'd be rewarding bad behavior and that you would have some really big problems down the road. I think that you have to take the hard line and not give them anything. But, I'm a right-wing radical, apparently, so. I haven't seen very many big orders go through in the 10-year, by the way. Is there a way to color it with these boxes, fonts and colors? No, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, I'm changing so many things about my workspace today. I don't know if I should be, but. Three minutes, huh?
Nathan S. says market surging into open by now. Vlad Stolyarov says when Trump was signing executive order he said stock market is making new records, everybody vote Republican.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Well, he's been saying on Twitter, like, oh, hey, if you elect the Democrats, they want to put all of these taxes on you. And you better vote Republican if you don't want to lose all your money. Oh, Nathan. Why do you need everybody else to do something? Hmm? This concerns me a little bit, Nathan. We don't trust me, they don't need your help. Very, very good traders watch better traders than me in this chat, I think. I always say don't follow other people. Don't try and get other people to follow you. You're not helping them. Well, help them make their own decisions, but don't teach them things, but don't try and get them to do what you're doing. I don't want people to make the same trades that I'm doing. Probably wouldn't be appropriate for them. Sometimes they're not appropriate for me. They are surging into the. You're right. I mean, they did. That was a pretty good spike up there into the open, wasn't it? Whenever they do that, though, I don't know. On a Monday, It's a little bit concerning to me on a Monday, to be honest. To be honest with you. Especially since all they really got to do to go negative is to get over that 48 or so. And yeah, it could be a. Well, we'll see. I'm having, because I changed a couple of things, there's a piece of data that normally would have that would tell me a lot, but I don't really got it now.
Vlad
Do
Stolyarov says
see,
they can push this as 30 points. I am not fighting if they do.
I see 33, 52, 75. It's actually still really tight, guys. Be careful. It's still really tight.
Vlad Stolyarov says I will play counter trend later.
So that's the open right there. And right away, I am realizing that I've got a problem here because it's not on the correct session. CME indexes. Okay. MES. CME indexes. Experimentation.
Nathan S. says there is still time to buy Dave.
Who's Dave? Sorry, maybe you want to be on David Portnoy's stream? I mean, he seems like a chill guy. It's not my thing. He seems like I would like to meet him and hang out, but not my thing. The way he trades, that is. Hmm. How is that possible? That bull bear zone it's got to be completely wrong. Should just ignore it. Okay, so there's the upside was a little. Thought I fixed this, but apparently not. I have to hide them account numbers. I think they might have another long in them here. Let's see. Look at the NASDAQ. Just wants to go, go, go. Okay, so here it is also where I got the NQ on. And you need to do the CME indexes.
Nathan S. says buy everything Dave. Okay, so for starters, this resets too often.
I'm thinking about things and I'm like, well, I think that there's a little bit of a room for a slightly higher move up and then reversal. But then I think about, is there like significant reason for me to be taking risk right now? And I mean, it seems like that there should be, but then there really isn't. Like I say that because we got the
Vlad
whole
Stolyarov says
stimulus bill going
MSFT down.
on. Like the stimulus bill and all that stuff. Does any of that really matter right now? I don't think that they've made enough progress on that for the market to really do anything. You know what I mean? So I'm kind
Vlad
of
Stolyarov says TWTR up.
a little, as Twitter is up. Well, Twitter was down big from before, so that's maybe a little bit just in line with what they should be doing, right?
Vlad Stolyarov says they look bullish so far on most stocks. Nathan S. says cases are coming off peak by Russell 2000.
Treasury's coming down.
RJ Wheel says can't wait for Partnoy's complaint.
About what? That we're going up? Okay, so there was that slightly higher move, and I don't.
RJ Wheel says when he loses it all.
Oh, well. I think that it's mostly drama, right? Like whether he wins or loses is whether it will be more entertaining for his stream. Hmm. Yeah, that's really interesting. Like, seems like they should have more oomph to get people caught up in there, and that's not happening. I'm kind of thinking, hey, maybe we should put like well, no, I think I'm gonna stick to my plan. I was thinking maybe I could put a stop limit down below us, but I'm pretty sure that if I do that, they're gonna come back on us first. If I really want to do something, I should be doing it up here. Okay, so let's try that. Oh my, the default has gives puts colors on it. That is not the way it used to be, is it? Now you know what? Ah, Aha. Okay, so that right there is a lot of volume trading there. Zero Hitch tweets, no Gartman, no Robin track, everyone running around clueless. Fed should just set the closing price now and we can go. Well, stay home. Okay. Nobody to follow. Oh no. I do like this area. It's just not, well, from where I got in at, it's not good, right? So, which kind of makes me wonder. So, I also see 55. I'm going to try doing something here. Volume is pretty good. That's a good couple thousand. Okay. That tick down at 21 was in the ZB was interesting because everything else was triggering lots of orders going in and the ZB wasn't doing it, and then somebody took it down with a big order. And you can see they're having a little bit of trouble extending from there. And the treasuries came back very hard. Ah, much better. CNN Politics says shy Trump voters are likely a myth, but polls aren't perfect. I don't completely buy this idea that Donald Trump voter is afraid to admit to the pollster that they want to vote for Donald Trump. I think it's way more complicated than that. But I do think that the polls are very, very likely to be off. You just the turnout in particular is just not going to. It's a really big wild card in all this, right? I mean, it's always a significant point, but because I reloaded my 5-minute data, this is reloading. Hmm. What the heck? There we go. Okay. Okay. So I can see dollar getting a little bit weaker this morning. That's probably a big part of the move up. But the euro in particular is hitting into some resistance. And the treasuries do look like they held that spot. So seems like the timing is syncing up, but let's see what happens. Kodak halted due to volatility. Oh my gosh. Hmm.
Vlad Stolyarov says AAPL big pullback. Vlad Stolyarov says NQ still didn't move much.
Yeah, NQ was kind of having some resistance above them. They broke up and then they fell back down. That was kind of interesting, huh? Note, though, that the tape doesn't seem too affected. There's a lot of volume going through on the E-minis, though. Micros, too, but the E-mini in particular just seems like a lot of volume to me. Guess liquidity is back, we could say. Yeah, look at that. And they're hitting with like 300-400 lots, too. Meanwhile, by the way, ZB, really quiet. Hmm. They all bought there. So here comes NQ. NQ is eyeing that low. Look at him. Ooh, he wants it. Okay. So there was a low. Oh, wow. When it hits a low, like it stopped out 3 ticks almost immediately. Okay, so the Nasdaq is hitting into new lows. The S&P 500 is not yet. A little bit of dip buying there at 35.52.25. Okay. So now the E-mini coming back to the open, which was at 33.50. Oh, so gold is picking up a bit. Ooh, the dollar got creamed there. So I said like the euro was coming up into some resistance there. They blew through that. The dollar took a hit. They're at 93.31 right now, the dollar. Hmm. Well, we got jolts coming here in 5 minutes. usually not a huge number, but in this situation, it might matter. Okay, so buyers were starting to make an impressive recovery there, and they just got flooded. There's the open. Open was 33.50, right? 33, 33.50.
Vlad Stolyarov says NQ now bearish.
Yep. We might have to just keep that on
Vlad Stolyarov says if no bounce.
I mean, all of that said, though, the E-mini has not gone negative on the day yet. Somebody just triggered this bit of a stop run. Couple of bids pulled out underneath of there. Yeah, there's NASDAQ. Just goes. Wow. Wish there was is there a setting in Jigsaw to consolidate price levels? I thought they added that. Maybe they haven't. Maybe it was something they were talking about doing, but they didn't add it. Yeah. I would really like to see something that would say like combine levels, so that it's not every tick. So that I could see on the NASDAQ more like every point or something like that. I think that would make it a little easier to see things, right?
Vlad Stolyarov says pretty crazy stuff NQ.
Yeah. For me, the NQ is just moving around so much that you really can't. Yeah. It's really hard to really see what's going on over there, huh? Maybe if we did this. Try that for a bit. See if we discover anything interesting.
Vlad Stolyarov says technically we need pullback, so not surprised.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm sitting here watching is like, okay, is the dollar going to turn here? If the dollar turns up, then this could really flip on us. But keep in mind we got to stay below that 50, and then 47 is another key spot. So if we go 50, 47, and then below that, and then we could have like a down day. We could actually have like a real down day. Okay. So jobs openings is better than expected, 5.88 million versus estimated 4.91. Market doesn't. Maybe they like it a little bit. Getting this push and pull between the Nasdaq and the E-mini. Mini VIX is now available at the CBOE. Too bad nobody trades the CBOE. Maybe we will though in the future because, like, honestly, VIX seems like a place that there might be some opportunity. Just go and short the VIX, right? Another new low. Come on. Okay. There wasn't a ton of stops on that one, but was there. Okay, so they touched the weekly open to the tick and are bouncing a little bit. So I'm gonna read that as a lot of buying that we're seeing here is technical in nature. If they decide to rip down through that, that's the spot that I would really like to see them get below. Like if they start trading below that, I think we should see a good amount of stops.
Vlad Stolyarov says a lot of stocks that had buy at open had bearish cup and rolled. Vlad Stolyarov says and we're due to pull back on daily also.
Yeah. I kind of wonder because it's been a while since we've since we've ever been able to make any week go negative, you know? They're certainly lined up. I mean, to get it on the month negative, we would have to really bend. But you know, just that move ahead of the market really had them overextended. I definitely saw the opportunity to go short. I like it. But like I said, some technical buying here at 47 being a tough cookie to crack apparently. Okay. I guess there's still a chance. So here's the turn of the candle. Okay. So they touched below 47. That did not get immediate stops, like they traded one tick. So I was saying, oh, I bet you there'd be some stops below there. Maybe they're a little bit lower, but I think that that initial call at least was incorrect. Now, the next thing that I kind of see is around 46. Yeah. So do you see the 1,000 or so there at 47? Still not really seeing the dollar move meaningfully
Vlad
off of
Stolyarov
all of
says
this.
NQ may say if this is just corrective sell-off.
Yeah. Well, so one of the things is that I'm noticing that the treasuries came up there a lot more easily than the. I mean, I guess the E-mini fell all the way from it, the high and everything, but mm, I don't know. But the treasury's not at a new high yet, right? And do we think that they'll be able to make a new high? I'm not so sure about that. So then when you put that in context with what the indexes are doing over here, you might have a hard time getting below that 47. 9 people tested positive for coronavirus at Georgia school where viral photos showed packed hallways. Yeah, they're all going to catch it, guys. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the end of the world either. Oh, we'll see. How long have they been open for? It hasn't been 10 days yet, has it? So the guy on Financial Juice was speculating that Treasury Secretary Mnuchin's comments about TikTok were perhaps part of the reason why the indexes are swooning. But I um from my little
Vlad
spot that I
Stolyarov
can
says
see,
NQ 11,080 is pivot area on 1 hour.
what are we gonna call from my little lookout here? It just looks to me like the buyer's overextended on the upside, and you'll know that it is not turning decisively negative, not yet. We would really need to get a move below 33.47 that holds before this could really turn decisively negative. It's now recovering the day. Some clicky click. Offers pulling. Now, on the other hand, for treasuries to come down there, it would be, Okay. He's talking about the yeah, he's making a good point there on the stock. There's Sunday. How have you been? They're saying that
Sunday
Donald
Driver
Trump's
says hello.
actions today or over the weekend with the executive orders and everything benefits the industrials more than the tech companies, because the tech companies were working remotely anyways. And so we're seeing a little bit of industrials moving up and the NASDAQ moving down. So that is a good observation, good theory there. Overall, they did hold the important negative spot. That doesn't mean that it's going to hold still. Just pointing out the facts. And the movement overall in the E-mini seems a little aimless. So I guess we got to remember it is Monday. There might not be a whole lot of reason for them to be moving.
Vlad Stolyarov says code looks bullish.
Kodak looks bullish. I would stay.
Vlad Stolyarov says can't short too much.
Not one that I'm super interested in being involved in. I don't want to follow the crowd into somebody else's instrument and then get slaughtered because I don't know anything about Kodak, you know? That's just a big mess. That Kodak. Okay, yeah, I do see treasuries acting positively to that. And do you see the NASDAQ just whoosh? But the E-mini not caring too much. It takes a lot to move the cumulative delta in the NASDAQ. There's a lot of algorithms buying and selling in there, I guess. Because the buying and selling per price looks fairly even. Like all that up that we've had
Cortez
since then,
says
only
gold, silver
290
up.
contracts. Gold is up pretty good. With the E-mini. Like sim from like 30 minutes before the open. Nine minutes ago volatility? No.
Cortez says, what do you think about today's gold target?
I have no clue how far it can go. And I don't have a volatility index for gold, so I can't really try and predict. The one thing I would say with gold, the big thing you always got to remember is that deflationary risks at the moment are um, more likely and more significant than inflationary downside risks. So that is a negative factor for gold. But then you have things like, a lot of people trying to get out of the yuan.
Vlad Stolyarov says F flat bear cup.
A lot of people just worried about tail risks. And that seems to be one of the drivers for gold. So when you hear those, when you see the economic things, the numbers come out, you might want to think, oh, this is bad. It's
Vlad
good for
Stolyarov
gold.
says looks like NQ wants to go down.
It doesn't, because it makes them worried about deflation, right? Yeah, NQ does seem like it wants to go down, doesn't it? And they're getting back. I mean, they're close to the low again. Do you think that the NASDAQ could pull the rest of us lower again? Because that's what happened that first time. And if NASDAQ decided to go lower and then the E-mini was below that 33.47, then we could get some fun. I don't know. It's Monday. I just keep saying to myself, temper your expectations, Seth. There's a possibility that something really cool could happen, but the current situation is such that that's a little questionable if that'll actually happen. I suppose, though, that now that we're in the counter trend time period, that now would be a great time to see a move like that occur.
Octavius C says I am calling at time of death in bonds Monday 8/10/10, 15 a.m.
Time of death in bonds, May 8/10, 10:15 a.m. What? I mean, bonds have been doing okay. They've been doing okay. Okay, so the NASDAQ, they were a little bit negative there for a second, and then they turned back up, and the E-mini pulled up a little bit with it. Hmm.
Vlad Stolyarov says I am scared to short NQBC. It's violently moving, still can be just early low formation.
Hmm. Sure is pivoting a lot. It's a little bit more. Yes, another tick or two. No? Guess not. Well, now it does it. It's too late, though. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. So now a pivot high and a little bit of a turn down and pushing past the last pivot low quite easily and heading towards the average true range at 33.4975. The ATR stop very quickly as well. So um it appears to me that volatility may be increasing. Let's come over here and check out what the VIX is telling us. So I see the VIX opening slightly higher than Friday's close. Of course, my data is delayed, but they are moving around. They were moving up as we moved down in the indexes as well. So I would say that is somewhat supportive to the
Vlad
downside.
Stolyarov says normally I would buy dip in NQ here, but this ISNT normal market.
No, and it seems like that the fundamentals are bad for NQ. I'm actually a little surprised that this push and pull isn't hurting the ES more than it is. But I guess what we're getting in the NQ isn't like that dramatic, right? Hmm. Okay, so they've kind of formed themselves a little range here. And the E-mini they're having a hard time busting out of now. Treasuries did come back down a little bit again. With that time with the 30-year coming down quite a bit more. So some flattening. No, some steepening. It's the opposite direction now. It's a bull steepener instead of a bear steepener. Kudlow claims payroll tax deferral will give employed Americans a gigantic wage increase. Yeah. Hmm. The Institute for Fiscal Studies reckons that 13 British universities are at risk of insolvency, but I thought that in Britain all of the universities were publicly funded. Is that not the case? Is that only Europe and not the UK? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. We're pivoting like every 4 minutes in the e-mini, so it's like really quite a lot of back and forth. Let's check our footprint here. Oh wow, 20,000 traded at 51. Okay, well we're gonna get the flip here at the bottom of the hour now. See if do I see anything interesting on that. Okay.
Vlad Stolyarov says momentum in NQ probably pointing down to test 11,020 today.
I think so. Well, they're still chilling on the lower end of the range. You can see on my tick chart here, though, how tight we are in the E-mini. Slightly negative at the moment, but When you look at the NQ chart versus the E-mini chart, and it's like, this chart is so unreadable. This one here in the E-mini, though, you can see how equal it is. Well, if the E-mini can get to the other side of this 51 area, where all the volume has gone through, it might be able to convince a few more people to sell. So far, probably most of those guys that bought at 51 are probably okay with it. Right? But another tick or two down, and all of a sudden they're like, okay. Maybe this isn't working out. Right?
Vlad Stolyarov says NFLX trying the day lows.
And there goes the NASDAQ to the lows. Wow. Okay, so the NASDAQ took a pretty good dive there, but the E-mini didn't follow it very much. Only about a point down in the E-mini. And the E-mini still holding this 51 area. Okay. Got that in the 10-year at 02 half 4,800 traded into the bid, didn't clear it. There's some pretty big bids below us as well that have shown up. Overall, pretty healthy activity from the large orders in the 10-year. There's also some significant pulls in the 5-year when we came down in here. So that kind of paints a picture of maybe the Treasury's absorbing down here, hoping that they're going to go higher. But the E-mini, stubborn as ever. Sky News understands Lebanon government is expected to announce its resignation later today. You think that would be bullish the dollar? Probably not a significant impact on. You're saying heads up, though. And top Democrats dismiss Trump claims, say they haven't contacted White House since coronavirus talks collapsed. Okay, great. No, we don't actually want to talk to you. That's bad. That's not favorable to any deal getting passed. Okay, see everybody picking up on this Lebanon news now.
PRT1 says I thought there was exec order.
Well, Donald Trump did do the executive order, but that doesn't mean that you just completely. They still want to negotiate a bill because the executive order is not a perfect solution, let's say. Particularly for the unemployment benefits, there's a little bit of question about if anybody will actually get any checks from that executive order.
PRT1 says do CDNS get one?
Okay, well, there's been some resistance here in the 53 area for a while. They do appear to be getting through it. Still pretty slow. There's still people leaning on it, apparently. The whole government has resigned in the wake of the deadly explosion in Beirut last week. Wow. When I hear that the whole government resigns, that it always makes me a little nervous about that country, because that doesn't necessarily mean that really good, competent people come in and take their places. Like, I just think about communist revolution. They resigned, right? Like the czar resigned or whatever, and that turned out very poorly. Hmm. Well, looks like we pivot again. We're still not out of the counter trend time period. NASDAQ still looking overall bearish. I do see there's that signs of the euro turning around. So that's kind of that dollar strength that I was saying we would need, I think, to really get an extended sell-off. And like I said, I don't think that it matters. Says Lebanon, but I mean, if it was going to have any impact, I would think that it would be dollar strength, right? Global uncertainty tends to result in dollar strength, but it's probably not a significant factor. Also, just see the positioning is like we're still stuck in the middle here. Donald Trump rhino Ben Sass, who needed my support and endorsement in order to get the Republican nomination for Senate from the great state of Nebraska, has, now that he's got it, thank you, President Trump, gone rogue again. This foolishness plays right into the hands of the radical left Democrats. Donald Trump tweeting. I believe that was because Ben Sass was saying that Donald Trump shouldn't be using executive orders. Treasury's coming back down there again, by the way, which is a little odd. Not in line with the most recent moves that we've seen, although the most recent moves that we have seen over in the Treasury or in the equities and so forth are still very much within the range. Florida virus numbers continue to improve. Man, so while we're just sitting here, because we haven't really chatted or said anything too interesting today, right? Because having to redo our thing, and it's just a Monday, but hey, you noticed coronavirus numbers, not really a big deal anymore. They are declining as we predicted they would. It seems like that the epidemiologists do have a pretty good idea of where things are going to peak. And now that those numbers aren't increasing, they just don't report on it. You don't hear anymore, oh, yay, like everything's good. The pandemic's no, like everybody's acting like we're still in the heat of a pandemic. Like some places, still, I still see a lot of people on the internet, at least, talking about, like, well, we still can't work and this and that. And I'm like, but the numbers are going
Wonkatonkin
down
says, hey
everywhere.
mate, hope you're been well.
Hey, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, I'm liking this so far. Yeah, it came back down so quickly. So quickly. You think they're going to stay below the 47 this time? Could do. Okay, but now all of that said, with the S&P 500 coming down to the lower end of the regular session, the treasuries came down as well. I do see a little bit of dollar strength, but it's not like it's anything super crazy yet. So again, we're still in this like, hey, there's a really good possibility. Well, not I don't want to say there's a good possibility. I want to say if they get below 47, then there's a good possibility that we could see some um drama, as I like to say. But I don't know if they're going to be able to hold it below there. The tape still seems incredibly fickle and aimless to me. Okay, so look in the inside bar here now. Georgetown Battleground Live collar poll showing Biden up 13 lends some credence to the theory that Trump's apparent gains in polls may reflect mode effects. That is, not many live collar polls lately, but lots of IVR and online polls. Interesting. I did notice that actually, that some of the polls that were favorable to Trump were not the landline ones. Yeah, it seems like they're hanging out down there at the bottom, but they're just not going for it yet. Okay, there's the Nasdaq pushing a little bit. Oh man, the way that you see the stops in the Nasdaq is pretty funny. It's going to be hard to pick spots in the Nasdaq. Like, how do you decide where to put your order at? Okay. Well, and again, this drop in the Nasdaq is significant, no? Somewhat significant, but the E-mini not looking super crazy yet. Treasury's still having a hard time bidding here, which is not supportive of a move lower in the indexes, but we'll see. Maybe it's like, oh, interest rates are raising. Oh, that's so terrible. Okay, there's the 47 again. Okay, so now I'm seeing some stops in the S&P 500. Now I'm seeing some stops. Yesterday's close was at 33.4475. It looks like we're going to touch that, or close to it. So now below that, 43, 44 area. And then it starts to get a little out there. 39. 39. Futures Magazine article, U.S.-China tensions are boiling. That would be as good of a reason as any to sell off. Well, I tell you what, when we were up there, I certainly felt the pressure to break even. I thought about it many, many times. But I kept saying to myself, I have this room. I've got room. If I had picked a bad spot, things could have been very different, huh? So there's the 43. Okay. Now some people are bailing. I'm going to start writing this close because this is a spot. Yeah, in fact, they going to go again? So you see that stuff at 42. Well, they're playing like they could go some more, and I do see 39. Okay. So if I was so lucky, I should take that one. But I'm getting clicks.
PRT1 says crazies. No gap at 39 change here. PRT1 says gap at 39.
Yeah, so 39 was the seller cost basis from the overnight session, so it's definitely an area that they'll have some difficulty getting below. And it looks like they already washed out all of the longs from the regular session already. So that's where it's like, okay, cool. So I don't know. They're going to need more people to come in here if they're going to push further below 39. I think they get 39. Nah. This is a little difference of like $10 there, but I think that what I did was appropriate. Oh, I don't have my profit window open. Let me grab one of those. Oh, cool. Wow. Well below 39 now. NQ dropping like before is another round of sell-off.
Wonkatonking says haha just saw the baby Yuta.
Yeah, right. This is like it takes a while for people to catch that. I should keep moving it around and stuff, but it's just like we got it for a birthday party, and no, it was for the baby shower. We got it. It was given to me by my sister for the baby shower, and since that was like the last thing my sister gave me before she died, it's kind of special. Oh man, so now we're at the seller's cost basis. So this is where it's like this is an uncertain area for me. If they start coming down into this, like, okay, so like the overnight low at 35 and then 30 and then we have like a true down day, right? So we should come in and look at what is the downside target, R1, or what are we calling it? IV1 32.26, 33.26. So volatility is saying that there could be another 10 points down. Overall, though, and I do wish that I had held for a little bit longer. And look at the orders in the treasury. So the treasuries selling off here, especially the 10-year. Can you see? Let me show you.
Tinchu says I shorted at 1041.
Let's post this in the interest rates channel. This is a little odd. So they're just like falling, like 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, 4K all the way down. That's a lot. That's a lot. So why is the treasury bailing there? So this goes back to this whole thing about inflation, deflation, right? If it's deflation, you want to buy the treasuries. If it's inflation, you want to sell them. If they're selling the treasuries and the E-mini turns down off of that, then that is like oh no, inflation. They're going to have to raise interest rates, and that's going to, that's the kind of dynamic that you're going to see on a down move. It does look like they're turning now, so this is about where I should be getting out. So 39, I think, was the right spot. So I got in from 42. No, I got in at 53. And that should have been 43, 42. So there was maybe another $20 in that. Anyways, this is concerning that the treasury is doing what it is. So normally, Tinshu says you showed it at 841. Oh, it's not a bad one. Wait, where were you? I shorted way back. I shorted up in the open, basically, like around the 45 area. I got 53. Show you in the chart right here. Do it on this chart. It's right there. Yeah. Actually, right there. So I waited for the pivot. So that's where I got it. Came down, like I said. I certainly felt the pressure right there. But I was like, nah, I can look at it. But I just knew that, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it to you without going into to more detail than I'm comfortable sharing, but I just kind of knew that the longs were a little bit overstacked here. But it certainly did not happen the way that I thought it was going to. It sat in that range forever. Then the move down was pretty aggressive. They went a little bit further than I thought, but still a pretty good profit. And then the treasury coming down at the same time has me really nervous. The dollar is not moving up aggressively yet. So I do see some possibility for some other assets to kind of still flip that push us lower. But overall, I'm still sitting here looking at what appears to be like a just a pullback from positionings. So don't know. I don't know. I think we kind of got to wait and see what happens next because there certainly is something developing here. All right, I'm going to go to the bathroom and I will be right back.
PRT1 says just bounced off of Haven below gap.
Okay. So the E-mini decided to go for another leg. Well, should have held it, I guess. Should have held it. I mean, I did okay for a Monday.
Ace Trades says hi honey, I'm home.
Oh, how are you, Ace? How have you been? Did you make money? Did you catch any of this short? I've been short like almost from the open and I was sweating it out and I took it. And now I'm like, oh, oops. Oops.
Ace Trades says yup, still short.
You're still short. It didn't pull back enough for you to ever take it off, huh?
Ace Trades says nice job.
Yeah. Oh, no. I caught 53. But I said 39 was probably like... So here's the issue I'm having right now. Something's going on. And I don't understand what it is. Let me try and explain to you.
Tin Chu says short runs cause the cascade.
Yeah.
Ace Trades says 53. Nice. Still in?
None. I'm not still in it. So I came in here on this and I said, okay, This run up into the open had me a little suspicious, for sure. Okay, and look, they came in into the seller's, like stop loss area. So right here, I'm looking short, right? And then sure enough, I got enough momentum. I took 53. Okay, so it comes down. It's a hard one to hold, man. I mean, geez, because I really would have wanted to have taken profits here and then maybe go short again. Although I feel like when this developed, it was so fast, right? Okay, so then I'm looking at it, and here's the regular sessions, stop out area. So of course you're going to see a pullback there, and we did, right? We did the 39, and this was kind of the cost basis from the overnight as well. So if it's that they were too long, then I should expect them to come down to here, and then I can't really expect more than that. For me to expect more than that would have to mean new people coming into the market. And to really get new people to come into the market, we'd have to be, well, I guess it could just be because of that cascade, but it might also suggest a more fundamental change, right? And yeah, I don't know. Ace says it's almost like you followed my. I didn't take it off of your signal. You can see though, it's going to be really hard for them to keep this short up. But that's not the thing that I find weird. Here's where it kind of gets a little. Let's look at the Treasury. Treasury, you would think, here's where they were. You would think that they would go higher, right? Inverse correlation. No, Treasuries fell all the way down here. So the interest rate rose as that happened. The interest rate rose. Okay. What about the dollar? Okay. So here you can see this was the run up. You can see that as the E-mini came down, the euro was coming down. You can see gold coming down a little bit. That's really weird too. Anyways, the dollar did strengthen, but only a teeny tiny amount. So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, if the dollar really moves, if the dollar starts to really strengthen, then that could squeeze a lot of people. But there's no correlation with it today, at least. So it's kind of a little bit weird. Although the thing is that when I see it that far off, that suggests to me that there might be something working out.
Ace Trades says lots of folks in my room like gold. I'm getting to like it better and better.
Yeah. Well, so but here's the question. Did any of them go short gold? The thing that continues to concern me about day trading gold, not like this is a reason not to trade it, but just from the way that I see people trading gold, right, is that if the risks to the economy right now are more likely to be deflationary than inflationary, and deflation is not good for gold. There's a lot of other things that are good for gold, but the deflation is not good for gold. Most of the gold traders are trading off of we think we're going to see inflation. So I see a lot of instances where the gold bugs think we should be going long here, and it doesn't. And the reason is because it's deflationary. You know what I mean? You went long at 742 on a gold signal. I guess that one would have been okay. Yeah. That was actually maybe a little late. Oh, no. You would have caught the big up. Cool. If you took your profits, since then it's given it up. Yeah, I didn't even look at wasn't even watching your signal for was it 742? Yeah, sorry, we didn't catch it all. Oh, that's good. Well, the one of the things that I'm also looking at, like, because my whole thing is like, remember that my kind of my working emphasis over the past little while is not following other people, right? So when I see it's like there was a big move, and then because of the big move, more people are jumping onto it, that's a trade that is counter to my current philosophy, right? But it doesn't look like you did that. It looks like you had just enough. You were catching it before people really came in. You were early, and that was good. Oh, I'm really concerned about this treasury thing. I'm still trying to figure it out. No, you never do watch my signal, and the room doesn't use my signal either. They have their own proprietary signals. Yeah, I have noticed if I'm like already looking for something, and then I see a really clear cross. But one of the things I've been noticing is that I haven't been getting really clear crosses lately. Well, like here's a good example. Here is a potential long, isn't it? At like 33, 35, right? But look at the way that they came into it. Was like you've said, it's like, they have to take it and like conclusively hold it. It should bounce. And this time it didn't. It kind of been playing around with it for a little while. So if I had gotten into that one long, I think I would be taking like the one tick right there, and you know, I just don't know. I don't know. There's a whole slew of other things that kind of got me on my toes, though, right? This treasury thing. Let me show you something else, Ace. Say I don't the treasury. Okay. So whenever I get, I don't have it turned on. We should block trade alert. There we go. Yeah, it's wanky at times. Yeah. So anytime that I get an order over 3,000 in the treasury, I'll get an alert, and that's something that you might see once or twice a day, right? And it'll be like on the edges, and it's like often it's somebody stopping up. But look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times lower every time. That is some serious selling. That is some serious selling in the treasury. They really collapsed down. So something is happening over there. We don't know what it is. Now the thing is, it could be anything. Maybe somebody is doing a big bond offering or something. There is a bill auction today. There is 3 and 6 month bill auctions today. That's just, maybe they just think that yield is a little bit too low, and that's why they pushed it down. Because that's a lot. And especially for them to move down when the E-mini selling like that. It's kind of weird. Probably stressing too much about it. I think, hey, I made a good $50. Just all in a day's work. The signals they sell in the room are decent as well. I bet you there's probably. So it sounded like they were doing some volume stuff. I'm still like, I don't know. I'm still like, you gotta see the big picture, One of the things I was looking at, or I was thinking about the other day, is like, so many of the signals that I see people talk about on Reddit, I actually have watched a couple of them, and I've gone, oh yeah, there is a tendency there. But when I watch it, it looks to me like a self-fulfilling thing. It's like they think that this thing matters, and so that's why it moves, And if that's the only reason that it's moving, I don't necessarily want to be involved in that one. I want it to be, there's something else about the market, All it comes down to is just math is a calculation based on past events. If you keep that in mind, it helps keep things in perspective. Right. Yeah. And from our backtesting that we've done on your signal, it's not necessarily predictive. The reason that you're able to do so well off of it is because it gives you a really, really favorable risk reward. When you let it's that contract that rides is what does it for you, man. Is the break even with if you get the 2 points and then you move your stop to break even and all of that. When I did the back test on that, that was mostly break even. So then it was like, well, how do you know how far to let it ride? And that was the big question. But then if you let a third contract ride, then yeah, it's going to be profitable. And you've got the timing of it too. I think that the timing is a big part of the edge too. It's hard on a single contract. It's way more than the contracts that I put. Yeah. It's better the more contracts I put on. Or yeah. No, yeah. Because it's a favorable risk reward. Now, I haven't, oh, you know what? I haven't given it to you. I can give you the special to test. Let me see if I can remember your email here. Oh, you know what? I can't email it to you. No, you have to come in because it has a DLL in it. If you message me on Discord, though, I'll send you this other indicator that I've been using. So the way that I would do it is like, wait for them to come up to this line, and then wait for your signal and take it. But yeah, just get on Discord and send me a message because it's a zip file, but it's got a DLL in the zip file. Because what I've done is I've compiled it so that people can't see the code. So Gmail won't let me send a DLL, but I promise it's safe. And that's the one where we're actually like counting the orders to try and estimate where people will stop out at, which is kind of nice. Wow. In Brave browser, I'm getting an advertisement in the browser's homepage for a crypto trading competition. Let's see here. Let's check Twitter. Loud bang and flame seen coming from a plane after takeoff at Manchester. I think that they're tweeting that one because they think it could be a terrorist attack. Okay. So here's another thing we should point out. Earlier, Donald Trump was attacking Ben Sasse because Ben Sasse was not supportive of the executive orders that Donald Trump signed. He says, thank you to Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana for his very smart words on the just signed executive orders. Oh, what was he saying about Portland? Portland, which is out of control, should finally, after 3 months, bring in the National Guard. The mayor and governor are putting people's lives at risk. They will be held responsible. The guard is ready to act immediately. The courthouse is secured by Homeland. Okay. It is getting crazy over there in Portland. I don't know if it's not like a war zone or anything like that, but these guys are not giving up. Okay, well, we still got 15 minutes to chat here. I was thinking about going camping this weekend, but I don't know. So Chicago is, yeah, I heard Chicago was crazy. I didn't read too much into it because that had all happened last night, and I was like, oh, look too relevant. But they were rioting, they were looting in Chicago. I saw that. I don't know if people pick up on it though. Like, it's a little crazy. Maybe if the police were nicer. Oh, we should keep in mind the bill auction coming up here, right? So if this bill auction comes out and then the interest rate is where it should be, and we could maybe buy it after that. Although I will have to stop streaming, so I won't touch it. Okay, Fed bids for 3-month bills is a total of $6.3 billion. Oh. No, so one of the things that really bothers me was with the Portland thing is that people were saying, well, the only reason that they're rioting is because of the federal police are taking away our rights at the courthouse and this and that. And they were saying that it was Homeland Security was inflaming the situation. So, of course, they pretty much pulled back and nothing's been happening at the courthouse. And they continue to go. And then there was this thing the other day, I think it was Friday, where people had a pro-police rally. And some Antifa came and kind of started to make some trouble. And I guess they attacked a guy that was in a wheelchair. I don't think that they like harmed the guy in the wheelchair or anything like that, but they were just kind of being really rude and messing with him and stuff. And that gave the police supporters felt like that was enough to attack, and so they had those Antifa guys down in a ditch and were just wailing on them. I was so shocked. And yeah, but I only see play on conservative media. A lot of these, it's actually kind of really shocking to me. Like, think about some of the news stories that we've had over the past 4 years. PRT says nice. I don't necessarily like seeing violence because I know that even if it's violence against individuals that I think deserve it, that it's bad for the country overall. Can't we find a happy medium between burning things down and exercising free speech and wanting to express frustrations? Well, sure, we could. Except for the issue is that the type of person that just wants to express their free speech and everything, they're not the ones doing it, So think about when the Russians, like Boris Yeltsin and everything ousted the communist government, right? And that was like the government had been loosening restrictions and becoming more free market, and the communist hardliners didn't like it and basically tried to stage a coup. And the public came out in mass numbers, and it was like everybody was out. Grandma was out, everybody was out, and they were nice to the military and chilling with the military and giving them cookies and stuff. And it was all, and so the communist hardliners had no legitimacy back down, and Boris Yeltsin became president, right? That is not what is happening right now. That is not what is happening right now. You have a very small minority of people that are still actively involved in this protest movement, and those that are like anarcho-communists that just want to, or some of the BLM hardliners, they literally just want to bring the whole system down. Like, they're saying it's a revolution. They think that the whole so the woke, I'm going to differentiate between woke and BLM, okay? The woke hardliners, they think that to get rid of white supremacy, that you have to take the whole system down. So like the Constitution and everything. That's what some of these people are doing, right? So that's why you're not going to get that kind of, you're not getting that kind of support. What was I going to say, though? Oh, yeah. So think about some of the stories that we've had in the past 4 years, okay? And some of the stories that were like the ones that like really, really got people upset, right? Okay. The Covington Catholic school thing. I think that's the best example, right? So this Indian guy came and was drumming in the kid's face, right? And the kid was kind of smirking a little bit, and that was a big news story, right? That was a huge news story. So much drama over that. People accusing those Catholic kids of like the most obscene things when they hadn't done anything wrong, right? Huge media coverage. Okay. Donald Trump supporters beat 2 Antifa members in the ditch. Or how about somebody got shot? Or how about somebody got killed? They pulled a gun out on a driver in Austin, and the driver happened to be military, felt threatened and shot the guy. Not a peep from the media. Not a peep. What the hell? How? How can there not be any media about this? It's mind-boggling to me. Like, I understand sometimes some stories pick off, gain traction, some don't. Some stories they kind of intentionally suppress a little bit because they don't want to inflame a situation, but this is getting too ridiculous to me. The government put up a bounty on taking out a person doing damage during a riot. You would have to film them doing the damage, and then you'd have to take them out, pick up your $300. I think that what you will find is that over time that it will fizzle, because some of the police office, well, it depends on where you're at. So that's a big caveat, right? Here in Utah, anybody that was rioting got rounded up that first time around and was prosecuted. And some of them, whew, they could charge these guys for life in Utah. In Utah, some of the vandalism that they did they could charge them for life. That's probably not going to happen, but it could happen. And just that alone, I think, man, I go out and protest and I start a fire or I vandalize things and I could end up in prison for life. That has an impact on people, right? Now contrast that with Portland. Portland, these people riot night after night, 45 days. The law hasn't done a thing to them. Just kind of saying. So these Democrat cities are basically looking the other way for this kind of behavior and basically encouraging it as a result. Yeah, it's nice and normal at 99% of the places. Yeah. Like, we're talking about like 2 or 3 city blocks in the whole country that are doing all this crazy stuff. And I'm sure that after the election that they'll all chill out a little bit. Unless there's like some real dispute over who won the election, but once it's settled, probably the drama, people are being overly dramatic because they think that they can influence the election. Oh, Tencent is planning to merge Huya and Douyu, the 2 largest game live streaming sites in China. This would essentially create a mega Twitch. The most notable thing is they are looking to finalize this by September 9th. That's interesting. 5 more minutes before we got to go, and we are still 5 more minutes to the auction, and the yields are increasing more. So it must be that the treasuries are moving off of this auction. There must be some real interest in the bill auction, but they must not like the price, so they're pushing it down. The E-mini, the move that we saw in the E-mini, it was much further than I thought that we would go, but hey, you know what? Could still just be positioning, so. So here's one of these. So Jim Dalton says successful trading begins with focusing on how to think. Learning to think in terms of odds is an important factor in trading. Today's early odds were exponential that the early B low would be taken out. And then he has a graphic. So if I open up in this picture, oops, open image in new tab. You sons of bitches need to hit the like button. You know, if you guys would be so kind as to no. You guys have been doing really good on it, actually. We're at 9. We can do better than 9. You're right. You're right. We could do better than 9. So here's what he's saying. Or non-excess low on Friday highlighted in weekend post. B period low week due to its exactness relative to Friday's high. Combination of before and week low produced exponential odds that today's early low would be taken out. Okay, how do you know that? If you don't like Seth, you're burning down your hometown. Only communists don't like my videos. That's too extreme. Listen, whether or not you like my video or not, I'm sure you're still a good person. And if you like my video, I appreciate it. And if you don't like my video, then I hope that I can do better in the future so that I can be worthy of your upvote. Oh, now you're getting a little. I'm not even going to read that one, Ace. That's getting a little extreme. I'm not sure how great Dalton is at trading, but I did learn a bit from him, says Mike. Yeah, you know what, Mike? It's like I'm sitting here and I'm like, how do you know that the odds were that they would take out the low? Do you have some stat on that? Do you know something about the dynamics of that makes it? Because just because it happened in the past, why would it continue to happen in the future? I think that what he's saying doesn't make much sense. That one dislike we have, that guy is responsible for Portland. It was probably just Sunday Driver. Anyways. No, whereas my signal is okay, I know that the reason why there's a high probability of them turning around right here is because everybody is long and we aren't seeing there's no reason for new participants to come into the market. So we're likely to sell. That makes more sense. I made another fast scalp on the way up, didn't you? Oh, yeah. So you took the profits and then you bought it a little bit. That was a good job. You know, that one was one where I would have liked to have reversed it, but it went further than I would have expected. Went further than what I would have expected. I don't necessarily see a really good now let's come back here and look at it. We were talking about it, weren't we? Yeah, we were saying it like 36. We're saying at 36, you could buy it right now. It's a little iffy. Yeah, it worked. You get like what, 6 points off of it. Not great, but good enough. I retract my like because I don't want to see stupid politics. Keep with the ticker, please. So Sling Trader, I think that the politics have more to do with the ticker than you might want to admit. And that's why I like to talk about it. So I want to know what's going on with the politics. I want to watch the news stories. I want to see how people react to them because I'm primarily looking at how people react to fundamental news. So there might be sometimes, like when I was talking about the rioting in Portland and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not 100% relevant to what the action is doing right now, but it does teach us something, doesn't it? Right? We're having a lot of rioting and the news doesn't really focus on it. And so it really doesn't have a significant impact on the markets because I guess rioting in general doesn't have a big impact on the markets anyways. It'd have to be a lot bigger than this, wouldn't it? Well, we keep up on that. And then the thing is you know what's going on in the politics. Something else is going to happen, right? Something else is going to happen that if you're not familiar with what's going on already, you're behind. It's like a piece of news comes out and all of a sudden the market's moving off of it. And you're like, why? Oh, I don't know anything about this political thing that's going on and I'm completely clueless. And then it affects your ability to trade it. It does. So I know some people don't want to hear the politics, but I'm always going to get into the politics. And I'll take another stab at this too, which is that markets is all about finding an edge and being able to predict what's going to happen. And politics, it's the same sort of a thing too, right? You want to try and predict who's going to win the next election, right? But everybody is doing these things to try and obfuscate what's going on, right? Because both sides want to look like they're going to win and want to get your support. And so they kind of play their games with the media and stuff to try and make it seem like that their side is winning or isn't winning. And isn't that what the market does? So the skills that you need to be able to read the news for markets is the same skill that you need to be able to read the politics. So I think, yeah, I talk about the politics. I like the politics anyways, and I want to talk about politics all the time. So if you don't want to talk about politics from time to time, then this probably isn't the stream for you, and that's okay. Right now, the political news is a driving force. Yeah, it really is PRT, right? And I mean, it's when we get closer to the election, it's going to matter more and more. So we really do need to understand this stuff for sure. You're not allowed to talk the politics. So it's certainly not anything from me. He might be, you know, if you work for a company, and you have to be careful about what you say publicly, unfortunately. And I think that Live Trader has told us that he works for a. I forget what it was, but that's probably why. Okay, so here's the bill auction. So, man, they really came down there. He left a dislike. That's okay. No, so like when I worked for Goldman Sachs, it was like you weren't supposed to say anything on social media. I mean, you could still post on social media, but you had to be really careful about giving opinions because those opinions could be misconstrued to be the company's opinion. Unemployment numbers and Fed actions matter much more than politics. Analytic, generally speaking, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And if we're having an unemployment number or Fed action going on and we're talking about politics instead of the Fed actions, then you should redirect me because I wouldn't be talking about the thing that would be most useful to the viewers at that point. Bookmap's new stop function graphic looks really cool. What is the stop function graphic? Is it like when you see stops, they print something on the chart or something? Can you explain that? I haven't seen that. I have to say, Bookmap has been making some big strides. Yeah, I'll post the link here. We can give you a. Hold on a second, Mike. I can give you the ability to post a link. There, now you can post a link. If you had already posted it, then post it again because I don't see it. Yeah. Anyways, but back to the point. Usually, a lot of the time, those politics really don't matter a lot. A lot of the time, it's kind of more like preparing yourself for when it does matter, right? Because when the election comes, then it matters, right? Something happens, like we go into election night, they're still expecting Biden to win, and then somehow Donald Trump pulls it out. Like the markets are going to react. It would probably be a positive reaction. I also think that if Joe Biden won, that it would weigh on markets a little bit, but they're probably going to be a little. There's going to be disagreement on that one, so it might not be like an immediate like whoa kind of move like we had last time around. See stops and iceberg transactions with 100% accuracy and Bookmap stop iceberg. Yeah, that's the same thing that we had. Yeah. Oh yeah, we've been talking about this for a long time. I was wondering if they had some change. Here's the thing: is where we see, I don't know. When I'm looking at their examples, I'm having a hard time even reading their little charts. I think that when it moves down, that means that there was stop orders selling. I'm old news. Yeah. No, like the thing is, especially the icebergs. I don't know. I've kind of gotten to the point like icebergs are useful for execution, but I don't think they have any ability to predict the prices at all. To be honest with you, like just let's just be cautious here because I'm telling you, it's not like the information is useless, but they're overselling it a little bit to you, right? If icebergs came up here, okay, yeah, some icebergs bought it. Cool. Guess what? It went lower. Ah, and then some icebergs absorbed more, and then it turned. Oh, but you know what? I've seen it where that's happened, and then it went goodish. Happens, happens. But I want to see this. I want to see the stops. I want to know exactly how many stops there were. I want to calculate. I want to calculate it into my indicator. I would really like to know. Like I would like to know on that last move, how many stops did we have on the move to 39? Was it not enough and that's why we had to move lower? Or was it that we had to move lower because a new group of guys got involved? That's what I want to know. I can't tell. I can from the information that I can see, I think I can make a pretty convincing case that traders were too long and that they had to all bail. And that was what pushed us below yesterday's close and all of that stuff, right? But the move lower after that, below 33.40, I don't know what caused that. I don't know if that was new orders or if how many existing positions there was on. From the data that I have, there wasn't a lot of existing positions on to make that happen. So that would have to mean new players coming in. But because I can't see the stops, it's hard for me to really prove that. So it's still just a theory. So I would like to see that. I would really wish that Ninja Trader had market buy order stuff. Anyways. Okay, so I'm yapping too much. Thank you guys. I thought we had today's stream started out super slow, but it turned out well. It was good. So appreciate it. Sorry for those of you that don't like politics, but we're always going to talk politics. And if Biden wins, total collapse as PRT. Yeah, I don't think it'd be a total collapse. I think that it would be negative, but it might not be negative right away because there is some disagreement amongst the larger players about how negative a Biden presidency actually would be. I think that it's more negative than these people want to acknowledge. Toast. Yep. All right. Thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay profitable, friends.